About 3 decades ago, a 14-year-old girl gave birth to a baby boy but had to give him up for adoption. While parting ways with her little one, the mother wrote a heartfelt letter to him and gave it to his new parents, unaware whether she would ever be able to see him again. The girl left it up to the adoptive parents to decide if they wanted to give the letter to the boy. Once the boy grew up, his adoptive parents told him about his birth mother and handed him the letter. In the letter, the teenager apologized to her son for being unable to raise him. She hoped her boy was happy with his new family and said she would love to stay in touch with him. However, the boy moved to another house when he was 11 because his adoptive father got a new job. The 28-year-old man wrote a series of posts on Reddit to share what happened after he found his birth mother. He confessed that locating her after he moved was almost impossible, but he luckily found her. He revealed, "She's working at this small restaurant, and I keep going, but she doesn't know it's me." The restaurant was 2 hours away from his house, but the man went twice weekly to see his birth mother. He thought she was lovely and enjoyed having small conversations with her. However, he felt nervous whenever he thought about telling her who he was. He had been visiting her for about 3 months when he finally decided to tell her the truth. The man thought of writing a letter to his birth mother, but later felt it would be better to tell her about it face to face. While visiting her one day, the man stayed at the restaurant until her shift ended. The man waited for her in the parking lot, hoping everything would go well. Once the woman closed the restaurant and came outside, the man stopped her and said he had something important to tell her. He recalled, "I told her there was something serious that she needed to know. First told her sorry for keeping it from her this long. She didn't react until I actually pulled out her letter." Upon seeing the letter she wrote to her newborn son years ago, the woman couldn't control her tears. She cried hysterically as she realized her son was standing before her eyes. Feeling emotional, the woman hugged her son, holding him close as she bawled her eyes out. The man confessed, hearing his birth mother cry like a baby made him weep too. He got emotional when she looked at him and said he had gotten so big. Then, instead of letting him go, the woman reopened the restaurant and invited him in for coffee and pie. The mother-son duo talked for hours, discussing what had happened while they weren't together. The woman told him she felt he was her son when they met for the second time, but she didn't get her hopes up because she had struggled a lot to stop thinking about him. She confessed she and his father never wanted to give him up for adoption, but they couldn't keep him because they were just kids. They stayed in contact with each other in case I ever reached out to one of them, so it would be easier to contact the other, the man said, and stated that his mother thought he resembled the younger version of his father. After talking to his birth mother for hours, crying like a baby, and assuring her he had a fantastic childhood, the man exchanged numbers with her. He hoped they would remain in touch. Soon after telling his birth mother the truth, he met his biological father at a park. He asked his birth mother to accompany him because he hadn't seen his father before and thought it would be better to have her there. "He was already crying before we even got to him," the man recalled. He said his birth father kept hugging him while telling him he loved him a lot. He also thanked God multiple times for letting him meet his son. The man said his biological mother was right when she said he resembled his father. The three of them spent time at the park and recalled what happened in the past. The Redditor's father also brought gifts, including a photo of him when he was a newborn baby with his 15-year-old father. The man's father also gave him a journal where he had penned down his feelings while he was in therapy a few years after giving his son up for adoption. The Redditor felt lucky to be able to see his birth parents and was grateful that everything turned out to be good.